Of the security agents, asanteni sana, mbarikiwe. Representatives from the security agencies that are around here, karibuni na mbarikiwe. Do we have representatives of the Kcpe marking center organizers? Karibuni, msikie mko nyumbani. I know majority could be in the field, but staff of the Kenya National Examinations Council who are here. Mkaribishe wageni, please be upstanding. Yes, mbarikiwe. And we have all our invited guests, ladies and gentlemen, mjisikie mko nyumbani. At this point, and you know, I'm wearing the smallest shoes around. I now wish to hand over to those who wear size 12 and above. So I now take this opportunity to welcome the CEO, Kenya National Examinations Council, Dr. David Njengere, to make his remarks and take over from there. Asanteni sana.
Thank you very much, Mr. Uchich. The Cabinet Secretary, Ministry of Education, Honorable EZEKIEL MACHOGU. The Principal Secretary, State Department for Basic Education, Dr. Belio Kipsang. We are glad to have you back. The Principal Secretary, State Department for Higher Education and Research, Dr. Beatrice Inyangala. The Senator Education Standing Committee, Honorable Joe Nyoto. The Chairperson, NEC, Professor Julius Nyabundi. The CEO, Teacher Service Commission, Dr. Nancy Macharia. The Director, Kenya Institute of Curriculum Development, Professor Charles Ongondo. Teachers' unions and associations represented here today, council members, directors from the Ministry of Education headquarters, TSC directors present, representatives from security agencies, representatives of Kcpe marking center organizers, staff of the Kenya National Examinations Council, all invited guests, ladies and gentlemen, good morning. I wish to take this opportunity on behalf of the management of the Kenya National Examinations Council to welcome you all to this very auspicious occasion in the NEC calendar of activities, which marks the release of the 2022 Kcpe examination result. I know that the 1.2 million candidates are anxiously waiting for their results, and therefore I will make my remarks brief so that we can proceed to the most important part of this program. But CS, allow me to mention that this Kcpe is the second last in the series of examinations at primary level as Kenya faces out the 844 system of education. So we only have one more Kcpe next year. I take this opportunity to thank all the field officers who rendered their services to ensure the successful administration of the examination. I wish to particularly thank center managers who hosted other examination centers. This improved efficiency in administration of. I thank all the agencies that partnered with NEC in monitoring and administration of the examination. I also wish to appreciate the role played by members of the public and the media in ensuring responsible reporting and supporting the Council's initiative to deliver a fair and credible examination. NEC engaged the services of 5,692 examiners during marking of English composition and Kiswahili Insha answer scripts. I sincerely wish to thank and to appreciate all the examiners center organizers who did this work in record time. Kindly let us applaud the examiners for insha and composition. They did an exemplary job. I would not like to forget my team members in NEC for the various roles they played. CS this year has been an extremely challenging one for the NEC staff because they have had to deliver 4 exams in 1 year. It has never happened before. So please, let's appreciate the NEC staff for the dedication and the amount of time they put into this. NEC remains committed to delivering credible examinations and to uphold integrity in the certification process. I call upon all candidates, parents, stakeholders, and the general public to exercise patriotism by desisting from attempts to cheat in examinations. CS, before I conclude, I would like to make some comments about KEPSEA. As we are aware, the Kcpe examinations were administered concurrently with KEPSEA summative exams for grade 6 learners. But following the recommendation of the Presidential Working Party on Education Reforms and the directive by His Excellency the President on domiciling of junior secondary school, and the fact that KEPSEA will not be used for placement of learners but for monitoring learner progress, NEC will report on KEPSEA at 3 levels as follows. There will be a report on individual learners for the summative assessment. There will be a school-specific report, and there will be a national report on school-based and summative assessments. The national report will provide feedback to education stakeholders on areas that require intervention. The report will indicate the proportion of learners at each of the performance levels per subject, where perhaps we need to do some interventions. The report will be very useful to the Kenya Institute of Curriculum Development, the Teacher Service Commission, and the Ministry of Education as we continue with the rollout of CBC. There will be a school-specific report whose scope will be limited to the individual schools. So each school will receive a specific report that delineates the areas that learners perhaps are having challenges so that they can continue in the journey of improvement. The learners will get individual learner reports, and all these are going to be uploaded on the school portals by 16th of January 2023. Finally, I wish to wish all the 2022 Kcpe examination candidates success in their next level of education. May I take this opportunity also to wish everyone a Merry Christmas and a prosperous year 2023. It is now my duty to request the NEC chairman, Professor Nyabundi, to make his remarks, and thereafter invite the CEO, Teacher Service Commission, to make her remarks, and then the PS will take over the program from that point. Professor Nyabundi, please.
The Cabinet Secretary, Minister of Education, Honorable EZEKIEL MACHOGU, the Principal Secretary, State Department of Basic Education, Dr. KEPSEA, the Principal Secretary, Higher Education and Research, Dr. Beatrice Inyangala, the Principal Secretary, Technical Vocational Education and Training, Dr. Esther Moria, who is not here with us, she's gone for other duties. The CEO, Teacher Service Commission, Dr. Nancy Macharia. The CEO, NEC, Dr. David Njagere, who has given a very able presentation of the situation here today. NEC Council members present, of the directors and other senior officers from Ministry of Education, directors and other senior officers from other ministries and Teacher Service Commission, representatives from teachers' unions, including NAT, Kcpe, Kewota, the Kenya Private School Association, the Kenya National Parents and Teachers Association, the heads of Association for Primary and Secondary Education present, members of the media fraternity, ladies and gentlemen. I take the opportunity to welcome you all to this important occasion when we release the 2022 Kcpe examination results. The Cabinet Secretary, sir, allow me at this very early opportunity to introduce members of Kenya National Examinations Council who are here today. This include, of course, none other than the PS Education, Dr. Bello KEPSEA, the CEO TSC, Dr. Nancy Macharia, the Director of KSCD, Professor Charles Ongondo, the Director, Ministry of Education and Quality Assurance, Madam Evelyn Owoko, Mr. Festus Kingori from Treasury, Mrs. Rosemary Saina, Mr. Martin Okio, Professor Eric Ogur, Dr. Fred O. Potter, Colonel Leonard Owambo, and Arthur Kiragu. Last but not least, of course, is Dr. Debbie Njagere. From the composition of this council, you can see the importance that the government places on examinations in this country. Mr. Cabinet Secretary, sir, the Kenya National Examination Council has continuously upheld its commitment to ensure credibility of national exams. It is in this spirit that we wish to assure Kenyans that the 2022 Kcpe examination processes were carried out in a professional manner and in accordance with our regulations and procedures. As we stand here, therefore, the Council can confidently assure the public that the results that the candidates are about to receive are credible and are a true reflection of the candidates' individual performances and achievements. Notably, sir, the 2022 cohort of candidates marks the end of the compressed school year that was necessitated by the COVID-19 pandemic of 2020. This was a difficult period, and while NEC has worked under constrained circumstances, it has been able to deliver the examinations, especially this series where the Tibet teachers and school examinations were running concurrently. So I want to appreciate the candidates, parents, and all stakeholders in the education sector for their understanding and patience that they have accorded NEC in the last 2 years as we worked to recover the school calendar. Gradually, from 2023, we will see the resumption of the normal school calendar. I wish to thank the Cabinet Secretary, Honorable EZEKIEL MACHOGU, for the support and leadership he has provided to our team, which has enabled the Council to deliver its mandate, that is, delivering credible examinations. Sir, NEC has made strides in innovations and infrastructural development in its systems and processes to ensure resources are effectively utilized, enabling the Council to deliver credible national examinations to all the candidates in Kenya. I further take this opportunity to thank you, sir, for presiding over this auspicious occasion. I now wish to take the opportunity to wish all a Merry Christmas and Happy 2023, and to invite Dr. Macharia, the TSC CEO, to present her remarks.
the chief guest, who is also our cabinet secretary, Honorable EZEKIEL MACHOGU, the PSS present, Chair NEC and colleague members in the council, the CEO NEC, distinguished ladies and gentlemen, good morning. What is it? Yeah. So, I am honored to speak today during this special event to celebrate our 1.2 million candidates who have qualified to join in Form 1 next year, having met all the conditions required under the KCPE examinations. On behalf of the Teacher Service Commission, I congratulate the KCPE class of 2022 for doing their part and securing their future. I also want to take this chance to thank all our teachers, both in public and private schools, the majority of who participated in the invigilation, supervision, and marking of the examinations. Cabinet Secretary, sir, in the 2022 KCPE exercise, we had 28,408 center managers, 28,727 supervisors, 74,990 invigilators, and 5,647 examiners who did an exemplary job. I congratulate all the staff and encourage them to keep up with the good spirit in line with the Code of Regulation for Teachers. It is because of you teachers that the 2022 KCPE class has performed well. As a commission, we thank the government for finding resources to allow us to recruit an average of 30,000 teachers in an exercise we are expected to conclude next month. I wish to urge all unemployed teachers to apply for their jobs and inform the public that we have until Friday, December 23rd, for the applications to get to us. This is a huge enrollment of teachers that has not been realized since 1997. Most of you will remember that before 1997, we used to have demand, supply-driven recruitment where TSC would recruit all teachers. Then recruitment was frozen, and from 1997, we started on demand-driven. And since then, we have never had such a huge enrollment of teachers. And we want to thank His Excellency, the President, Dr. William Ruto, for directing that we execute the exercise. On our part, we promise that the exercise will be carried out transparently and in line with the constitutional requirements of equity and meritocracy. I also assure the country that we are continuously applying all strategies to ensure prudent and optimal utilization of the existing teacher resource, both in our primary and post-primary institutions. And following the directive of His Excellency the President, that junior secondary school be domiciled in primary school, the TSC has moved quickly to develop guidelines on staff to handle the learners who will be joining grade 7. So apart from the 30,000 that we shall be employing, we shall also be developing guidelines on those others that we shall be deploying to help in that grade. These guidelines will be released to stakeholders in January. In the meantime, 30,550 new teacher recruits, that is 9,000 on permanent and pensionable terms, and 21,550 teacher interns will be posted to handle the JSS before the opening of next term. In addition, the Commission will mount a robust capacity building exercise for teachers to handle the JSS learners. I wish to reassure the country that retooling of the teachers will continue to cover all secondary school teachers and all those who will be joining the teaching service during the CBC implementation. As you are aware, we have already trained 60,000 teachers in the current secondary schools, and early next month we shall embark on the retooling of teachers who will handle JSS. Allow me once again to thank all the teachers who did very well in invigilating and administering these examinations, and wish everyone here a Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year. Thank you. And I now wish to invite our PS Belio.
Asante sana Nancy. The Cabinet Secretary, Honorable EZEKIEL MACHOGU, my colleague PS, and I will request PS Beatrice Manyala to stand so that we can acknowledge and appreciate her. Beatrice is our PS for higher education and research. Our Chair for Senate Committee on Education, Honorable Nyotu, Chair of Council, and all other council members, the CEO Teacher Service Commission, other CEOs present, the Director General, senior government officials, head teachers present, our colleagues from our unions who are also present here today, members of the media. Once again, we acknowledge you being here. I would want to take this opportunity to thank all of us and most sincerely thank our parents, our children, for the work that they have done throughout the year. But most importantly, I want to welcome all sector players who are here and thank you for the contribution that you have had in making sure that our children were able to successfully complete the examinations. I would also want to thank the multi-agency team that was driving this particular process, those who are visiting the containers, all those who were part of this particular process. I would want to say thank you very much, and on behalf of all of us parents, we will always be most honored and say thank you very much for the work that you have done for our children. I would also want to thank our teachers, mainly those who are examiners, and these are people who are extremely dedicated. They gave their all. On the Jamhuri Day, 12/12, while we were all celebrating the Jamhuri Day, these dedicated teachers were marking examinations. Now, some of us, we visited them with the Cabinet Secretary in the evening, and they showed a lot of dedication and love for our children. So let's appreciate them. Once again, I would want to assure all of us, as the Cabinet Secretary would say, my work is very simple because the Chair of Council has already talked on behalf of all of us as Council members. Being a Council member, what he has said is what we acknowledge and we all appreciate as Council members. The remarks which were given by the CEO Teachers Service Commission captures all that we do in the sector, and therefore she has already talked about the teachers on behalf of all of us in the sector. And most importantly, my boss, the Cabinet Secretary, will now come and say more on the sector. So once again, I would want to make our commitment that we shall continue with 100% transition of our candidates who have done Kcpe. Already the CEO has captured the spirit of KEPSEA. I would not want to go back there, but we are prepared for them as they transit to junior secondary in our primary schools as guided by the President. Finally, I would, before I give out my congratulations for the young ones and invite the Cabinet Secretary, I would want to take this opportunity to welcome the Senator for Murang'a, who is also our Chair for Education Committee in Senate, to greet all of us and also convey his message to our candidate. Karibu, Mheshimiwa.
The CS education, PS, basic education, PS higher education, the chairman, NEC, the secretary, NEC, the representatives from trade unions, indeed, and all of us, ladies and gentlemen, good afternoon. So today I also join the rest of us in congratulating those that took KCPE last month, and we believe that, like the PS Basic Education has said, that all of them will be placed into secondary schools of their choice, which is a big milestone in the education sector in this country. And I do not want to say much because this is not my day, but congratulations to all candidates, their parents, and thank you, NEC, for the good job that you are doing. Merry Christmas to all of us and a Happy New Year 2023. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Mheshimiwa. I would also want to take this opportunity to acknowledge and appreciate our colleagues who are with us here. I want to pray that I'll be exhaustive enough. We have Julius Mukwe from the Ministry of Interior and the National Administration. Thank you very much. We have our Assistant Inspector General of Police, Stephen Atiang. Thank you very much. We have Chair of the Kenya Primary School Aids Association, Bwana Nzioka. Karibu sana. We have the Chair of the Kenya Private Schools Association, Bwana Ochomu. Ochomu, yes, thank you very much. We have the Chair, the Kenya National Union of Teachers, Bwana Munue. Munue is there. Thank you very much, Bwana Munue. We have the Secretary General of Kenya National Union of Teachers, Bwana Collins Oyu. Oyu is here. I see my brother has just arrived, Bwana Akelo Misori, the Secretary General for Kcpe, and maybe with any other of your members who may have accompanied you. And our good friends from the fourth estate, the media, thank you very much for having come here. You know, all would not be there without you. You are able to beam to our parents and all other stakeholders this particular engagement. I would not want to say anything beyond that. I know our young ones are waiting for their results. So I would want to wish all of us a Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year. And it's now my singular duty to invite the Cabinet Secretary for Education, Honorable EZEKIEL MACHOGU, to come and do that which he must do for this country. Karibu Asiri.
Thank you. Please be seated. Yeah, thank you very much. Principal Secretary is present. The Minister of Education, Dr. Perio Sang, and Dr. Beatrice Nyangara, Chairman of the Education Committee of the Senate, Honorable Nyuchu, Chairperson, Kenya National Examination Council, Professor Julius Nyabundi, Chief Executive Officer, Teacher Service Commission, Dr. Nancy Macharia, Chief Executive Officer, Kenya National Examination Council, Dr. David Njangere, NEC Council members, senior officers from the Ministry of Education, represented here, representatives from the teachers' unions, KNEC, we have the chairman. Thank you, Chairman Munue. Secretary General, Collins, thank you. The chair, KEPSEA is also here. Charles Ochome, thank you, welcome. KEPSEA Chairman, Johnson Nsioka, thank you. And officers from the Ministry of Interior, Julius Mukwe, the Assistant Inspector General, Etiang Kupet, my friend, Secretary General Akero, welcome. And the members of the fourth estate, welcome. I am today standing before you to make perhaps my most significant address to the nation since His Excellency the President of the Republic of Kenya, Dr. William Samoei Ruto, appointed me Cabinet Secretary for Education nearly 2 months ago. Over these 2 months, I've taken time to personally consult widely over the status of our education sector, which is arguably one that attracts interest from every household. For in every home, there is a child. More importantly, my appointment immediately drew me to the deep of the sector with the national examination season racking and the need to clear the matter that was the grade 6 cohorts transition to junior secondary school under the competence-based curriculum. By good fortune, the head of state, in keeping with his promise as outlined in the education charter of Kenya Kwanza Manifesto, stepped in with a brilliant decision to appoint the Presidential Working Party on Education Reforms. By dint of the team's preliminary report, the President has already directed that the masterstroke decision of President Min. It means that parents will now not lose sleep over finding grade 7 presents in secondary schools, which could have become their worst headache ever had the President not saved the situation. Secondary, domiciling the junior secondary within the primary school level means that the expected crisis of a double intake in our already congested high schools was averted. Lastly, it means that the newly constructed classes in secondary school have a relatively peaceful path to the achievement of the 100% transition policy of government during the Form 1 admission next year. Amid the smooth administration of the national examinations for 2022, I have, together with my top merit and are carried out in strict conformity with Chapter 10 on values and the principles of the Constitution. I'm arrived at the fact that regardless of how smart our policies will be, they will always be doomed to failure unless our implementing staff are motivated to work well, since they sit at the execution desk and close at the consumers of our services. 3. Focused reform of policies and regulations. We are looking at the Presidential Working Party to make recommendations about laws, policies and regulations in our sector. We have seen a number of attempts to amend some of the existing laws, policies and regulations, a few of which are currently pending before the National Assembly. Under my stewardship of the sector, we will carefully consult with all stakeholders with a view to driving the reform processes to a decisive and logical conclusion based on the recommendations of the Working Party. We will appeal on the respective committees of the National Assembly and the Senate to be patient with us as we will regularly knock on their doors as we seek these rigor and policy reforms. Inevitably, many of the expected reforms will stem from the recommendations of the Presidential Working Party when it completes its work early next year. This being my inaugural function for the release of Kcpe examination results, I feel ready that we have successfully administered 2 national examinations concurrently at the primary school level, and the results for the Kcpe examinations are ready within a period of 20 days. I wish to thank His Excellency the President, Dr. William Samoei Ruto, for his leadership and support during the conduct of the 2022 Kcpe examinations. The President led the multi-agency team and the Cabinet Secretaries in monitoring of the administration of Kcpe examination, where they visited examination centers and exhibited support for the candidates. My Cabinet colleagues praised the Morning Board to be at the examination containers in solidarity with the contracted personnel, approved that the current administration is determined to maintain a credible national examinations. I also thank our teachers for their instrumental role in the preparation of candidates and the participation in the administration of the 2022 Kcpe examination. I applaud the center managers, supervisors, invigilators, examiners, sub-count directors of education, deputy county commissioners, and security officers who played exemplary roles in helping us deliver a credible examination. In his recent directive on the domiciling of grade 6, 7, and 8, His Excellency President William Ruto ordered the Ministry of Education to provide further guidelines on the transition. Following this directive, I formed a multi-agency committee to draft the guidelines that will guide the transition. Specifically, the committee is expected to draft the guidelines that will effectively ensure a seamless transition from primary school grade 6 to junior secondary school, facilitate effective leadership and the management of junior secondary school, promote consistency in the implementation of the junior secondary school curriculum, including teaching and learning and assessment, ensure the provision of adequate, appropriate, and safe physical infrastructure and a runner-friendly environment for all runners, including those with special needs and disabilities. Ensure the provision of adequate and well-prepared human resources to facilitate curriculum delivery for junior secondary school. Finally, outline the roles and the responsibilities of key stakeholders in the implementation of the various components of junior secondary school. I expect to hold a meeting with all stakeholders in January 3rd, 2023 to consider and release the guidelines so they can provide a roadmap to all players as they prepare for the junior secondary school. Already the Kenya Institute of Curriculum Development has released the grade 7 curriculum designs and instructional materials for use at the junior secondary school level. Arising from the presidential directive and cascaded the Kenya National Examination Council, by myself, the Kenya Primary School Education Assessment will not be used for placement of the runners in a junior secondary school. The KEPSEA report will, however, be part of the process of monitoring of runner progress. I have directed the Kenya National Examination Council to upload the report of the assessment on the school portals in January 2023 to enable schools to develop strategies of further learning and teaching. As is the government tradition, all the candidates whose results I'm releasing today will be admitted to Form 1 under the 100% transition policy. There should be no case of any parent or guardian keeping their children at home when admission to Form 1 are opened up, as this is against the constitutional requirement. Since the country experienced the COVID-19 pandemic, which occasioned a prolonged close of schools, the government has been running a heavily constricted and reorganized school calendar in a spirited attempt to restore the normal term dates. This reorganization of school term dates has come at a heavy cost to parents in terms of pressure to clear school fees within short intervals, teachers having heavy workloads, while runners have had to cover more content within extremely short time. I wish to particularly single out the 2022 Kcpe cohort, whose examination results we are releasing today. When COVID-19 hit our country in March 2020, the cohort was in Standard 6 and only resumed their classes upon the full reopening of schools in January 2021. Between January 2021 and November 2022, just 23 months, this cohort has managed to cover 3 school calendar years. This is astonishingly incredible. In fact, the cohort covered their grade 8 school calendar in just 6 months, having joined in June 2022. In between, the country went into a general election that also occasioned an unnecessarily long half-term break, besides the confusion and anxiety associated with such a national exercise. Please join me in celebrating our 2022 cohort of Kcpe, ladies and gentlemen. I wish to thank all the stakeholders, especially parents and teachers, for withstanding the financial and the teaching pressures, respectively. They came with their shorter school terms as forced upon us by the COVID-19 pandemic. Thanks to all your concerted efforts, we will from January 2023 revert to our normal school calendar. The ministry is determined to place the 2022 Kcpe candidates in secondary schools as soon as possible to give parents adequate time to prepare them for their admission to Form 1. The actual Form 1 selection exercise for all categories of schools will be concluded on January 16, 2023. A total of 1,233,852 candidates sat their 2022 Kcpe examination in 28,408 centers across the country. These candidates will be allowed to start their secondary school journey as they have all qualified to be admitted to Form 1. Congratulations to the class of 2022 for your spirited academic campaign that defied the triple challenge of a general election, COVID-19, and shortened school calendars. Of these candidates, 620,965, that is 50.32%, were boys, while 612,887, meaning 49.67%, were girls, a clear indication that our country has achieved gender parity at the primary school level. In the 2021 Kcpe, 1,214,031 candidates sat their examination. According to the data, 4 counties had a significant entry of more male than female candidates. These were Turkana, Garissa, Wajir, and Mandera. On the other hand, Marsabit, Isiolo, and Meru had a significant entry of more female than male candidates in the examination. The number of candidates who sat the examination in hospitals in 2022 was 147, compared with 166 in 2021. All these candidates will also progress to Form 1. The number of registered candidates who were 12 years and below declined from 33,627, meaning 2.74%, to 31,494, meaning 2.53% in 2022, indicating that parents and schools are on the right path of enrolling children in school at the right age. The counties which had the highest percentage entry for candidates who were 12 years and below for the year 2022 KCPE examination were Baringo, Wajir, Kericho, Bomet, and West Pokot. The highest number of candidates were in the appropriate age bracket of 13 to 15 years were 885,162, meaning 71.13%, a trend that has been replicated in the last 5 years. The counties which had the highest percentage of candidates who were 18 years and above were Garissa, Turkana, Kilifi, Kware, and Mandera. In the 2022 KCPE examination, overall performance improved compared to 2021, despite the difficult situation that faced this cohort of candidates. The mark of the highest candidate rose 4 points from 428 in 2021 to 431 in 2022. Another positive indicator of better performance by the candidates was in the mean average performance. The data analysis showed that more than half of all the candidates who sat the examination, that is 619,583 or 50%, 50.22%, scored between 200 and 299 marks, as compared with 578,106 or 47.17% who scored between the same marks in 2021. We are therefore very impressed with the KCPE examination class of 2022 for performing very well and raising the standards of the main examination. That number has gone down to only 724 in the year 2022 examination, despite the rise in overall candidature in the 2 years. This was an indicator that most candidates scored better grades than the previous year. In particular, I'm impressed that 9 candidates with special needs scored 400 marks and above, compared with only 2 in 2021. The first candidate with special needs scored 419 marks more than the top candidate in 2022 who scored in 2021. Overall, we have been impressed that 4 papers recorded an improvement in performance in the year 2022 when compared to 2021.
On behalf of the management of the Kenya National Examinations Council, I take this opportunity to welcome you all to this historic celebration of the release of results for the last Kcpe cohort under the 844 system of education. Foremost, I would like to request that we stand and observe a minute of silence in honor of the two officers we lost during the administration of this year's national examinations. Kindly let us. Summative norm-referenced examination that is offered to eligible candidates. 2008, Kcpe was offered to South Sudan nationals of the Kaunda Mountains region. In total, 103,000 non-citizens have been certified after sitting the Kcpe examination. I wish to make a few remarks before relating to the administration of the 2023 Kcpe. Our gratitude goes to all the field officers who rendered their services to ensure the successful administration of the Kcpe examination. We particularly want to thank the primary school head teachers who for the second year administered both KEPSEA and Kcpe concurrently very successfully. And I wish to ask that we applaud all the primary school teachers in Kenya, particularly the head teachers, for the great job they did. I also wish to thank particularly the head teachers and education officers from Vihiga and Taita Taveta counties. This is because they followed the registration rules for the two cohorts to the letter. We did not have a single case from the two counties of late registration. Let's appreciate those two counties for the great job that they did. NEC engaged the services of 5,755 examiners during the marking of English composition, Kiswahili Insha, and Kenya Sign Language composition. As a show of gratitude, NEC has issued certificates of appreciation to all the examiners engaged in the marking of these three. And today, CS, we have invited the chief examiners for the three papers, this being the last time that we are doing Kcpe, and we wish to request you kindly if you can award the certificates to these three chief examiners for English composition, Kiswahili Insha, and Kenya Sign Language. I request those three to come in front here. And CS, we are requesting you
Thank you very much and well done. Yeah, well done. Well done. Thomas Washwa. Yeah, Thomas, thank you. Thank you and well done. Micheni, Yaga. Thank you, Micheni. Well done. Thank you, sir. Madam, you've done well. Congratulations. Yeah, thank you very much. Thank you and well done.
Thank you. Okay. Thank you very much, CS. For us, those are our heroes. They are the ones who make sure that we are able to do what we do as NEC. Before I conclude my remarks, allow me, sir, to inform the parents of persons who had Kcpe, KEPSEA candidates that the marking of Kcpe was prioritized to allow the ministry place the 1.4 million candidates in secondary schools early enough. And NEC is finalizing the processing of the KEPSEA results, and the reporting of these KEPSEA results will be done at 3 levels. There will be an individual learner report, a school-specific report, and a national report. And we are committing ourselves to make sure that these reports are ready before these learners proceed to junior secondary in January of next year. With those many remarks, CS, I now wish to invite the NEC chairman, Professor Nyabundi, to make his remarks, and thereafter invite the COTSC, who will make her remarks, and invite the PS to take over the program. Thank you very much.
Good morning, everybody. The Cabinet Secretary, Minister of Education, Honorable EZEKIEL MACHOGU, the Principal Secretary, State Department of Basic Education, Dr. Belio Kipsa, the Principal Secretary, Department of Tibet, who is not here today, the Chairman, National Assembly Education Committee, Honorable Julius Meli, the Chairman of Senate Standing Committee on Education, Senator Joe Newton, the CEO of Teacher Service Commission, Dr. Nancy Macharia, Council members of NEC, the CEO of our sister organizations and partners, the TSC directors present, directors from the Ministry of Education, chief examiners for English, Composition, Kiswahili, Insha, and Kenya Sign Language, who have just been honored, representatives from security agencies, representatives of Kcpe marking centers, staff of the Kenya National Examinations Council, who have already been introduced, members of the Fourth Estate here with us today, all invited guests, ladies and gentlemen, good morning one more time. I take this opportunity to welcome all of you for the release of these 2023 Kcpe examination results. The Cabinet Secretary, sir, allow me to start by introducing the NEC Council members who are here with us here today. Please, members of NEC Council, be upstanding. Dr. Belio Kipsang and Dr. Nancy Macharia, you see, you are a very powerful council. Professor Charles Ongondo, Ms. Evelyn Owoko, Rosemary Saina, Martin Okio, Professor Eric Ogur, Colonel retired Leonard Owambo, and of course, last but not least, the CEO, Dr. David Njagere. The Kenya National Examination Council is committed to upholding the credibility of national examinations. And I believe, as you sit here today, seeing what we have seen in the Kcpe this year, it has been a very smooth, very free-sailing examination. has been in existence. You are told that KCPE has graduated about 26 million Kenyans. That is a big number, almost half the population. I would also like to express my gratitude to the Cabinet Secretary himself for the leadership that he has provided to ensure that my team delivers on the NEC mandate. Thank you very much, Bwana Waziri. Sir, today we present to you the results of the last cohort of the KCPE. This marks the end of 844 curriculum the way we know it. I take this opportunity to congratulate the primary school teachers for administering the 2023 KEPSEA and KCPE examinations concurrently and without compromising the process. This was indeed a great feat. In fact, this is the second year we are offering both KCPE and KEPSEA. It appeared difficult, but you have done it very well. Finally, my sincere gratitude goes to the candidates, parents, and all stakeholders in the education sector for the support they accorded the Council during the period. The Cabinet Secretary, sir, I take the opportunity to thank you for presiding over this occasion. And at this juncture, allow me to invite Dr. Nancy Macharia, the Secretary of TSC, to pass her regard.
The CS, Honorable Machogu, Honorable Meli, Honorable Nyoto, PS Belio, the Chair NEC, CEO and colleague council members, senior government officers, distinguished ladies and gentlemen, good morning. Honorable Minister, allow me to start by asking the officers who have accompanied me from the TSC headquarters to stand and wave at everyone here. Please stand and wave to officers. Thank you. I wish to sincerely thank our teachers who for 38 years have consistently and meticulously prepared learners for the KCPE examination. Over these years, the teachers have produced a robust generation of manpower that has helped to propel our country to the enviable socioeconomic development levels that we currently enjoy. As teachers, we therefore can only look back at the history of KCPE, whose last examinations we are releasing today, with a lot of pride and satisfaction. Thank you, our teachers, for your unfettered professionalism and commitment. Please let us applaud our teachers. Our gallant teachers have not achieved our gallant teachers have not achieved the commendable levels of teaching and learning without sacrifices. Over this KCP journey, we lost a number of teachers who during global and local challenges, including the COVID and sometimes the adverse weather conditions that are better epitomized by the ongoing El Nino phenomenon. I particularly wish to put in our prayers the family of Dr. Salim Mutida, as the CEO NEC has said. Dr. Salim Mutida was a KCP examiner who died on Sunday, 19th November 2023 at the Nairobi Women's Hospital. At the time of her unfortunate death, she was a deputy chief examiner and had also served as an examiner of KCP English composition for more than 20 years. We condole with the family. In the same breath, we condole with the family of Ahmed Nur Ismail Ahmed. Ahmed was an outstanding ICT champion in Garissa County, whose services will also be dearly missed. I wish at this juncture to also thank all the 473 teachers who served as invigilators, supervisors, and center managers, and 7,250 who worked as examiners during the last KCP examinations, whose results the Minister is releasing today. We must congratulate the teachers for ensuring that the examination process was as smooth and as flawless as it could get. By the same token, I wish to say thanks to all those who have participated in the examination process during the KCP examination regime of 38 years. And as I talk about the 30 years, I can't forget to mention our chief examiners, especially those who were awarded here today. And we at the Commission are extremely proud. Chance to invite PS. Welcome.
Thank you very much, Nancy, the Cabinet Secretary for Education, Honorable EZEKIEL MACHOGU, our two chairs of Parliament, the National Assembly Chair on Education, and the Senate Chair on Education, our Chair of Council, and my colleague council members, the CEO of the National Examination Council, the CEO Teacher Service Commission, and the other CEOs. I would want to request our other CEOs from our other institutions from our other institutions in the Ministry of Education to stand and wave. Asanteni sana, thank you. Our celebrated examiners, we would want to also acknowledge and appreciate you for joining us this morning and for the continued service that you have provided to our children. We shall not be able to, I know your boss, the CEO, Teacher Service Commission, has appreciated and say that we shall honor you for the work that you've done. And the word is honor, because we can't really compensate you for what you've done. We can only honor you for the service that you have provided to humanity and our children. Our representative of the multi-agency team, I know we have Obwara from Interior, who is representing my colleague PS for Interior. We have Tiang from the National Police Service, who has been coordinating our security teams. We say thank you very much. My colleagues from the Ministry of Education, the directors led by the Director General, maybe we can all be upstanding, including our directors from the field. Asanteni sana. I would want to thereafter write on the protocols that have already been done so that I don't take a lot of time. Today is a special day for all of us. We are celebrating more than 38 years of service of our Kenyan people, whom we have taken through this particular 844 education system. I'm saying taken through because as a teacher, except most of us who are up here, led by our CS, Nancy, myself, Meli, Nyotu, and Njegere, our chair of council. Majority of our colleagues in the fourth estate, I can confirm, are among the 26 million. We may be among the few who are not there, but once again, our colleague teachers, thank you very much. We can only say thank you. So once again, as already mentioned by the CEO Teacher Service Commission, it's only two months since we were here to commission the examination period and the examination process. And today we are here with our Cabinet Secretary while being there to ensure that the environment in which our children were doing the examination was conducive. So on behalf of all of us and on behalf of my colleague in the Ministry of Interior, we also honor this gallant soldier who stood out to ensure that our children were safe and in process paid the ultimate cost through his life. So again, we honor that police officer in Siaya for the good work that he was doing for our children. So tunasema asante sana, and may his soul rest in eternal peace. Finally, I would want to thank our head teachers. I know the chair of KEPSEA, Bwana Nzioka, is here. On behalf of your colleague, we thank you for stabilizing the junior school for the last 1 year. That today our learners are in school. Count on our confidence and support as we continue to ensure that our children are in school. Asante sana. CS, with your permission, before I invite you, allow me to invite the chair of Education Committee in Senate, Joe Nyotu, to make some remarks. Karibu, Mheshimiwa.
Thank you, Honorable PS, the CS Minister of Education, EZEKIEL MACHOGU, the PS Basic, Bello Kipsang, Daktari, the CEO TSA, Nancy Macharia, the Chair, NEC, Professor Nyabundi, the CEO, Dr. Jengere, and all protocols observed. Good morning. So I want to take a very short time, and I want first to congratulate all the candidates who sat last year's Kcpe and KEPSEA, and I wish them the best as they transition to secondary school, that is Kcpe candidates. And I want to say that recognizing the many achievements made under 844. But I think I want to take this opportunity to ask all of us, because we know that 844 also started at a very high note where students and pupils were supposed to acquire technical skills. But later on, I think it metamorphosized, or it slowly again ran into an examination system or an examination-based curriculum that all of us, as we usher CBC, led by the Minister for Education, that we never again allow our learners to be assessed on only one parameter, and that is academics. Because of course, we know that all of us are gifted differently, are talented differently, and that is why I'm an ardent supporter of CBC, that going forward, now that we are done with Kcpe and 844, that no learner will ever again be classified as a failure simply because they were assessed on a parameter that they were not necessarily talented in. And so it's incumbent again on all of us, led by our able CS, to see to it that we do not drift into an examination system once again. And so I do not want to take much time. I thank everyone. I also take this opportunity to honor the gallant soldiers that fell by the wayside in administration of this exam, and in the many years that this system of 844 has been there, even as we pray that CBC will now sort out our problems of unemployment, and that even the mentality at home will change, that not only people with payslips will again be considered, will ever again be considered to be the only people that are in gainful employment. Sorry if I've drifted into territories that are not relevant to this particular occasion, but once again, I want to congratulate our Kcpe candidates and those that sat KEPSEA. Thank you very much. God bless all of us. Joe Nyotu is my name, Senator for Muranga and Chair Education Committee at the Senate. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. I would want to invite a colleague, other than being a member of parliament. Honorable Melly has been a principal of a school. He has been an examiner like ourselves who are examiners here today. And therefore, I would want to request him to come and engage with his colleagues other than his other life of being a politician. Karibu, Chairman.
Our Cabinet Secretary, Honorable EZEKIEL MACHOGU, PS Belio Kipsang, CEO, Teacher Service Commission, my colleague, Joe Nyotu, Chair of the Examination Council and the CEO and the Council members, officers from the Ministry of Education, colleague examiners and teachers, good morning. Yes, first of all, let me congratulate you, the examiners, the CS, and the Examination Council fraternity for having had a successful examination process. I know this is the climax. This is the time when every parent is expecting to see the score of his or her child. This has taken an effort of all of us. It has taken the effort of the administrators. It has taken the effort of the teacher. It has taken the effort of the examiner. And all this is as a result of a very good process that we in the National Assembly, my colleague, actually always aspire to oversight and have a very good examination process. Waziri, as you know, members of the National Assembly and the Senate have actually been making sure that the examination process in this country is above board. It has integrity, it has the quality, it has the standards that meets the international standards that Kenya is part of the community of nations. So I really want to thank the examiners who have actually done a good job, and more specifically, the Examination Council. We as a Committee of Education, we did an inquiry, you know very well, it was a public inquiry, and I want to commend the CS and the Examination Council for having actually taken the resolutions of the committee, implemented them a lot, more specifically on how to administer exams and stop a number of problems that you had. The committee went ahead again with the assistance of the government ensure that we had the monies that was required to make sure that the examiners are paid on time. And I want to commend the CS and the government for that. But the big issue now is, as we exit the Kcpe, as KEPSEA comes in, KEPSEA is as a result of competency-based curriculum. When we were in the old examination system, many of our colleagues used to look down on the 844. But it has come of age to be one of the best examination, one of the best educational curriculums we had. As the KEPSEA and CBC comes in, I want to ask Kenyans, I want to ask parents, I want to ask the leaders, we embrace it. It has a number of teething issues. It has a number of small issues, which I know the Presidential Working Party addressed them. You, the CS, with your capabilities, you are addressing them. You, the officers in the field, you are addressing them. Let us embrace it. It is going to make sure that the talent of the child, the talent of the individual is key, not only academics, as Honorable Newton has put it. So thank you so much. I want to wish the candidates well. I want to wish the examiners. These are the gallant soldiers who have done a good job. And what you've done, those who have been awarded and those who are honored, you've done a good job for this country and for this nation. May God bless you. Asanteni sana.
Thank you very much. I would want to conclude by confirming that our examiners who marked Kcpe CS as the accounting officer of the Ministry of the State Department, that we have paid all our examiners who did Kcpe marking. We also want to assure my colleagues in the KCSE that we shall ensure that they are paid within the time that is required of us to pay. The other assurance is that we are working already with our colleagues at the at the National Treasury, so that we can be able to fast track payments of capitation in our first term. We are already working with our colleagues at the National Treasury. The process has already started, so that we can ensure that as we open school in January, that we shall ensure that our schools will run smoothly. I would want to congratulate our young ones who did Kcpe, this last cohort of Kcpe, for the good work and the results that they will be receiving after the CS releases them. You have realized that I don't want to mention anything about this year's results, because, you know, mimi ni mtu ya mkono of my boss, the CS, so mine ends there. It's now my distinct duty to invite the Cabinet Secretary to make his comments and release this year's examination. Karibu Waziri.
Yeah, thank you very much, PS. Yeah, the Principal Secretary, State Department of Basic Education, Dr. Pero Kipusang, the Chairperson, National Assembly Education Committee, Honorable Julius Mary, the Chairperson, Senate Standing Committee on Education, Senator John with us during the entire period. Chairperson, Kenya National Examination Council, Professor Julius Nyabundi, the Chief Executive Officer, Teacher Service Commission, Dr. Nancy Macharia, the Chief Executive Officer, Kenya National Examination Council, and also the other CEOs of various state organizations who are here. Madam from Internal Security, who has been with us during the entire period. The 1985 cohort, the Chairman, Education Minister Peter Waringo, Mr. could not have imagined here that the Kcpe story could last of the Minister of Education. Yet, since 1986, of the unions, minister after minister, NEC staff, Cabinet Secretary and the members of the media, ready stood here to narrate the success story of the KCPE examination. When a story that will be told over and over again, 39 years Kenyans to reach the maturity of them products of the primary education examination research that for years served our country immensely well. Former education minister can indeed gainsay the fact that the 844 education system KCPE story could produce some of the best brains yet that have made our country work tall, minister, academically, and in the world of work, regionally and globally as well. I stood here, so as I stand before Kenya today, I must make it abundantly clear that my mission is not to sing KCPE digest. Rather, I am here to celebrate and remind my fellow Kenyans that we are only transitioning from a structure of education that has served us well for 4 decades to one that will serve us even better. I must further emphasize to Kenyans that the midwives of the new shift in the education structure to the competence-based curriculum will mainly be the products of the KCPE examination, totaling 39 cohorts. Remember that a candidate who sat the KCPE examination in 1985 at the age of 14 is now aged 53 years old. If this was a teacher, he or she could now be one of our most experienced teachers, likely at the level of the head teacher. At our universities, such a professional could have risen to the level of a full professor. Indeed, this is an apt illustration of the fact that many of the professionals serving our country at every sphere are indeed products of the KCPE examination whose last research I am announcing today. So like with Ro Arengo, who released the first KCPE examination research, I also feel privileged to be the one at the apex of the transition point from the KCPE examination to the Kenya Primary School Examination Assessment, which has been conducted in 2023 for only the second year. This story of the end of KCPE will not be complete, therefore, if I do not individually mention some of the special groups of people that have been part of the successes, highs, and lows of the examinations that have often sparked wide celebrations in many parts of the country, celebrations that we are all but bringing to an end this year. The 4 presidents of Kenya, whose governments steered the implementation of the KCPE examinations and equipped schools successfully to ensure quality products, came out of our standard 8 national examinations. 2, His Excellency President William Samoei Ruto for appointing the Presidential Working Party on Education Reforms, whose report has provided a crystal clear roadmap that will guide the transition from 844 to the CBC. Our indefatigable primary school teachers, both in private and public schools, who have year after year prepared our candidates for the KCPE examinations. 4, field officers from both the Ministry of Education and the Teacher Service Commission, who have combed every part of the country for 38 years, checking that the runners are taught well and that quality is upheld. 5, security agencies from the Ministry of Interior and the National Administration and the Ministry of ICT, who annually work to ensure security of the KCPE examination. 6, parents who toiled and moiled to support the implementation of the primary school system and the 844, even when there were concerns of resource constraints. 7, development partners who committed their resources to support our country in implementing their school system. The list of all those that I wish to acknowledge for their role in the success of the 844 system in the primary school level is endless. Allow me to therefore thank everyone who in one way or the other was instrumental in the success of our school system. I welcome you to extend your generous support also to the implementation of the CPC system. Allow me to register my appreciation to His Excellency the President Dr. William Ruto for reading the agenda of education in the country and for instructing me to coordinate his work at the sector level. Education embarks on each household at individual levels. It is the backbone of any country's socio-economic well-being. Our President has made all efforts to ensure that the quality of education is upheld through various initiatives instituted under his leadership. I also wish to recognize with appreciation the support accorded to the Ministry of Education by my counterparts in other government ministries, departments and agencies during the field administration of the Kcpe and the ongoing KCSE examinations. This multi-agency collaboration is guided by my colleagues, Professor KNEC and Engineer Eliud Owaro from the Ministry of Interior, and the coordination of national government and IT and digital economy cannot go unnoticed. I'm proud that our country managed to deliver the KCPE examination in the face of the El Nino challenges. In some cases, it was difficult to access some of our examination centers that were cut off by the floods. Delivery of examination material to some of the 576 distribution centers countrywide was affected by the heavy rains. This necessitated use of air transport in order to ensure that all candidates successfully sat their examinations. I wish to thank all the teachers, field officers, security officers, NEC officers, and other stakeholders who braved the hard weather challenges to conclude the examinations. The fact that the 2023 KCPE examination cohort was the last under the 844 system has given the government's 100% transition policy from primary to secondary school level greater importance. We are all aware that any candidate who could fail to transition to Form 1 will not have an opportunity to repeat a class as was the case in the past, owing the end of the KCPE examination. Aware of this, the Ministry of Education ensured that all runners who were in Class 8 sat the 2023 examinations, even in cases where they had not been registered. As a result, 205 candidates who had not been registered for the KCPE examination this year took advantage of the registration waiver which I issued to sit for the examination. They are therefore among those whose results we are releasing today, and they will therefore have an opportunity to join Form 1 next year. To ensure no candidate misses out in joining Form 1 from the final 2023 KCPE examination cohort, the Ministry of Education will conduct thorough mapping of any those who may have failed to sit the examination of this year in order to administer a special examination in January 2023. The indicative figure we have at the moment for those who were not able to sit the examination is 9,354 candidates, and we have given the opportunity to sit for an examination in January so that they can also be able to join Form 1. I wish to assure the country that the government has enough capacity to accommodate all the 1,406,557 candidates who sat their KCPE examination in 2023. Therefore, all parents should take advantage of the 100% transition policy to enroll their children in Form 1. I wish to assure the country that we are fully prepared and committed to a seamless transition from the 844 system to the CPC. Many of the issues that were unclear in this transition process up to last year have now been solved, through the Presidential Working Party on Education Reform report. Currently, we are preparing a sessional paper and the necessary draft legislation for submission to Parliament for consideration. Once passed, the document will anchor most of the recommendations of the Presidential Working Party report. As per plan, the first cohort of the CPC runners will transition to grade 8 in January 2024. All education indicators show that the cohort is undergoing quality learning and teaching. I wish to assure the country that all curriculum materials are in place to support the runners. One other recommendation that the Working Party made regarded the funding of public universities and our TVET institutions. The Working Party recommended the introduction of the variable scholarship and the loan funding model under which students are funded depending on their level of need. I am happy to announce that the rollout of the new funding model has been successful. Already, the Higher Education Loans Board has released the sum of 5.2 billion to first-year students in our various public universities. In a short while, we will be dispersing scholarship amounts to the universities as well as to our TVET institutions and the trainees once the necessary processing is completed. We are confident that the new funding model will gradually restore our universities and TVET institutions to a path of financial security and sustainability, thereby allowing them to focus on their core mandates of education, training, and research. Since 1985, a total of 26,067,181 candidates have been examined during the Kcpe examination. I am happy to report that the 844 period has recorded an improvement on achieving the gender parity in the education sector. In 1985, the country had a low gender parity, favoring male at 59.2% and the female at 40.8%. Encouragingly, from 2013 to 2022, the country achieved near gender parity for male and female candidates. However, in the 2023 Kcpe examination, the gender parity slightly shifted in favor of male at 51.30 and the female at 48.70. In the 2023 Kcpe examination, there were 1,406,559 candidates who sat the Kcpe examination in 28,533 examination centers across the country. Of these, there were 721,544, that is 51.30% male, and there were 685,017, which was 48.70% female candidates who sat the examination. A total of 205 candidates who were not registered were also allowed to sit for the Kcpe examination, and of these, 125 were male, while 8 of them were female candidates. 10 counties had a significant entry of more male than female candidates. These were Mandera County, 62.77%, as compared to 37.23%. Garissa County, 61.47%, as compared to 38.53%. Turkana County with 57% compared to 43%. Wajir County, 56.91% compared to 43.09%. Machakos County, 52.79% compared to 47.21%. Nyamira County, 52.40% compared to 47.60%. Samburu County, 52.39% compared to 47.61%. Baringo County, 52.13% compared to 47.16%. 0.87%. Nandi County, 52.05% compared to 47.95%. And Makueni County, 52.03% compared to 47.9%. And other counties are Isiolo, 48.25% compared to 51.75%. And those are the counties which recorded a significant more female than male candidates. Candidates' age profiles. The counties which had the highest percentage of candidates who were 12 years and below in the 2023 Kcpe examinations were Baringo 7.30%, Wajir 6.37%, Bomet 5.99%, Kericho 5.83%, and the West Pokot 5.57%. The highest number of candidates in the Kcpe examination were in the appropriate age bracket of 13 to 15 years were 1,023,859, forming 72.31%, a trend which has been observed over the last 5 years. The counties which had the highest percentages of candidates who were 18 years and above were Garissa, 25.86%, Turkana with 24.50%, Kwara County with 16.09%, Kilifi County with 15.66%, and Mandera County with 33.90%. The performance of candidates in each and every subject was as follows. The two papers, English language and the Kenyan Sign Language, composition recorded an improvement in performance in the year 2023 compared with the year 2022, while 8 other papers, English composition, Kiswahili Insa, Kenya Sign Language, Mathematics, Science, Social Studies, and Religious Education, recorded a slight drop in performance in the year 2023 compared to the year 2022. In terms of gender, the performance of male and female candidates was comparable in social studies and religious education. However, female candidates performed slightly better than their male counterparts in English language, Kiswahili, and the Kenya Sign Language. Male candidates performed slightly better than their female counterparts in mathematics and sciences. And in the 2023 Kcpe examination, 80,523 candidates, which is 0.60%, attained a score of 400 marks and above. This was a drop compared with the 2022 Kcpe examination when 9,443 candidates, which was 0.76%, scored 400 marks and above. The percentage of candidates scoring between 300 and 399 was comparable to last year with a percentage score of 24.94%, which translated into 307,756 candidates in 2022 and 24.92%, which translated into 352,782 candidates in 2023. The full summary is as follows. 400 to 500 mark, the number was 80,525 candidates, which translates to a percentage of 0.60. 300 to 399 marks, and the total number who scored that was 352,782, which was 24.92%. 200 to 299 marks. The number of candidates who were in that category were 658,278, which was 48.49%. 100 to 199, 100 to 199 marks. The number of candidates in that category were 383,025, translating into 27.05%. The ones who scored between 001 to 099 were 2,060 candidates, which formed 0.15%. The number, therefore, total number that sat the examination was 1,406,557, translating into 99.34%, which there were 9,000 who never did the examination, and we have given them the opportunity to come and do the exam. The highest score this year was 428 marks. 428 marks is the highest score for this year. I wish to commend the candidates and all officials for ensuring that the integrity and the credibility of the 2023 Kcpe examination remained high. Only 2 candidates out of the total 1,406,557 were involved in examination malpractices during the 2023 Kcpe examination. One of the candidates was found with unauthorized notes in the examination room, while the other candidate was found with a mobile phone in the examination room. As I've already said, the ministry will offer Form 1 placement opportunities to all the candidates who sat the 2023 Kcpe examination in our public and the private secondary schools. Already the ministry has developed a fair and transparent system for Form 1 placement that will ensure national, regional, and socioeconomic balance is achieved. The placement process will start on Monday, the 27th November 2023, and conclude within a period of 2 weeks. This will allow parents and guardians adequate time to prepare their children to join Form 1 in the year 2024. I therefore urge parents, guardians, and all stakeholders to ensure that all our runners transit to secondary school level so as to complete their basic education, which is critical to their survival and also beneficial for the country's development and growth. The 2023 Kcpe examination candidates are urged to correct their results from their respective examination centers. Individual candidate results can also be accessed by sending a candidate's index number followed by the initials Kcpe through a short message service SMS to 40054. This service will be available immediately after this event. I repeat again, individual candidates results can also be accessed by sending a candidate's index number followed by the initials Kcpe through a short message service, SMS, to 40054. The service will be available immediately after this event. It is now my humble duty and privilege to declare the 2023 Kcpe examination results officially released. I wish all candidates success in their future endeavors. Thank you, and God bless you. Yes.
Let us give a clap as the CS is receiving the results from our chair of the council. Thank you, sir.
Yes,
And handing over to the PS for placements, as already outlined. Thank you. Another round of applause, please. Thank you.
Very good.
And the chairman of the Kenya Primary Schools Association, also receiving the results, as he will be handing over the children to the secondary schools. Thank you. Thank you, sir. I'll now invite Mr. Gedi from Kenya National Examinations Council to give a prayer, and we really want to appreciate each one of you for coming and gracing this occasion. We appreciate the tight schedule that our CS has, and that's why we've taken the shortest time possible to enable us move to other activities. Mr. Gedi, please give us the closing prayer.
Our Cabinet Secretary, all distinguished guests,